I first need to release myself. This is a gesture that I learned from Hyujin, the current American Idol Asia player, who's now getting very popular in the United States, and he used this kind of way to release his nerve. So I think it's worth for me to give a try in this occasion. All right, so after hearing the whole morning of session in your own mother language, it's now for me to talk also in international language, which is English. Well, of course, my mother language is in Chinese, so I wouldn't do this kind of speech that often in a different language, so I'll just try my best. My topic is about China. So what do you know about China? I mean, what's China stand for in your mind? Most of you would think China, like, what does it remind you with? I think it's mostly what people say, like Asian civilization. It's full of population, well, and it's polluted. And, well, talking about the people, most of the time, Chinese are very shy and humble. And, yeah, and also cheap products, huh? All over the world. We almost conquer the world with our cheap products. But today I'm talking about another fast growth economy, which is called China digital market. So formally introduce myself, Jay, and I'm responsible for Webbdagarna China business. We are doing email marketing service, well, so-called an old school email online marketing channel, but so far we become the China's largest email marketing companies in China, and after 5 years effort. So nowadays we send about 15 million mails a day, and we serve well-known brands like BMW, Sephora, Disney, you name it. But also, more importantly, we serve some local well-known brands, which I'm going to show you later during my presentation. So let's first start the digital market, China. But since everyone knows China is a fast-growing economy, and more, foreign enterprises wants to enter the market. But Mr. Shah, I was trying to. Oops. Okay. Go to the slides first. Yeah. More and more foreign enterprises wants to enter the market, but see what's happened with them. This is one of the pictures that has been taken in front of the Google China office when they announced a formal quit on Google.cn search service last year. And eBay, they closed their whole office in China last year. So all these failures, what does it stand for? Does it imply that China do not have any future for internet service? I have to go back. By the time when I enter the market with just me, myself, bring our email marketing software into China, this is the fact. 167 million internet user. But by the time, mobile user is much more stronger because China Mobile builds up the world's fastest, most stable GSM network, and we're still living with it. And 28 million block users. So that's the fact by the time, back in 6 years ago. And now, just look at some figures here. Block user, yeah, 11 times increased block user. And internet users almost getting tripled. But the mobile user increase is getting very stably. But you can see something really remarkably happening is that the internet user total amount has surpassed the mobile user. And Twitter users, well, I cannot call it Twitter because Twitter is blocked in China. So that's why I call it microblog user. And microblog user, we've reached a total amount of 250 millions. That's a massive amount. But you might ask a question like, where are these microblog users are using? What kind of applications? I think you have shown up the wrong slides. Yes, ma'am. Okay, yeah. I was actually trying to show you nice pictures about some of my latest slides. But anyway, that's not important. Okay, I can handle with it. Let's just go back. I was trying to show you guys about some of the latest cool applications that we use. Just remind you, I just talked about the microblog users, 250 millions, but none of them are using Twitter. So where they go? We have a China copycat. Well, of course, indeed, it's a China copycat because back in 2 years ago, they started the process, and by the time Twitter was blocked, and all the venture investors think there will be no future for short messaging communication market. But Sina, one of China's largest portals, they invented a new application which is called Sina Weibo. Weibo in Chinese means microblogging. And just after 2 years of development, the total amount for Sina Weibo user has reached to 215 million. Just 2 years. And comparing with that, Twitter spent almost 5 years to reach a total amount of 200 million users worldwide. Well, you might say, yeah, because China has got huge population. Right. We always take advantage. I still remember the time when Yao Ming was always voted on the NBA All-Star, and those Americans are complaining about it, like, oh yeah, you Chinese have so much population. But I just want to show you that how fast speed it is when we launch a new product. And another one that I want to show you is, because you might know that China is the world's largest mobile user in the past, and that happened for quite a long time. And Chinese are very used to text message to each other. And also, the text message fare in China is very low. But see what's happening now? We are very used to talk via voice chat.
杰森，你们吃好了吗？吃好了吗？
回来。你放的是什么东西啊？广告词啊？
我拉肚子。我怎么身体微热？
Those are the way now how we communicate with friends. It's group voice chat. And we think this is so cool because remember the time when you want to hang out with your friends driving cars, you start to call each other, right? Like a BB call, some stuff. But now we can also use phones to talk on a real-time base. And people getting lazy, we know that thanks to the development of internet world, people getting really lazy. But this is really impressive when we see in a sudden that we all think Chinese people are, get very stuck on one thing, but in a sudden they just all change into voice chat. And this application is called Weixin. It's run up by QQ.com, and QQ is China's largest internet company. They've got a registered internet user of 300 millions. So it's quite easy for them to reach a total number of 85 millions for a new application. But all I want to say is these new things change our way of life thanks to internet, thanks to the digital market. And of course, I need to come back with my specialties, and because what I just mentioned that I'm focusing on email marketing. So there are also some interesting things that I observed when we serve the Chinese companies. Some points could be like some positive and negative things. Positive things could be high volumes, of course, and high demanding. But negative things is like high frequency sendings. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I was at another occasion. I asked someone else, I say, what would be the maximum frequency that you're going to send out to your audiences? Someone said 2, someone 1 mail a day, or even 1 mail a week. That's already too much. But I've seen many of my clients, they send out mails more than 5 or 6 during a day. So that's crazy. And they don't care about list hygiene, so they send out the same amount of mail quality all the time again. But this is different things, what I see from the past. It's definitely the old version. I really have to jump over all these things. Wait. Yeah, these are other stuff, but I don't want to talk about that during this occasion. That's a bit awkward for me. Let's just speed up a little bit. Come on. All right. I'd rather try to share one of the cases that we did in the past. I just told you that China is very used to dealing with massive data, with massive volumes. There it comes with one of a good example that we served for China's largest B2C company, which is called Taobao. Taobao is just like eBay, but since there's no market for eBay, and yeah, there should be some need for C2C platform. And Taobao has got a registered user for over 300 million. And among that, they create a new mall called Tmall, but it's purely B2C. And under that B2C platforms, they hosted over 100,000 of different brands. So you can imagine that as a virtual shopping mall. What we basically did with this campaign is that, because if you guys do remember last year, there are 6 ones happening in one day. That's 11 November 2011. So 6 11s. What does it mean? It means singles. That's the Singles Day. So everyone who do not have lover, they feel so lonely on that day, and what they normally do, go shopping. So it's a perfect day for them to promote themselves. And we actually served this campaign together, working closely with Tmall. And basically the idea is just trying to use the email powers to enforce them or to promote more sales. These are the kind of way we did. And just look on top, the total target stands. It's 200 million males for all the audiences. And with all the waves we did over here, we just keep on reminding them and reminding them. And of course, it's targeted reminding. And by the last, during the mail contents, we just talk about things like where to go for shopping, and because there are like 100,000 of brands, so it's quite difficult for you to search, and because of the offer is limited only for one day. So in the mail content, mostly we just try to give them some tips about where to find your favorite goods and those kind of stuff. I think my slides is getting so messed up. Oops. I'm sorry.
You will get your other set. You just click to replay one.
Just show me.
Yep.
Sorry for that. I mean, it happens one time beforehand, but that time I was talking Chinese. So, but anyway, just continuing with my Taobao case. In one day, because they had a limited offer, and for us, it's a great chance to launch it with email campaign, because in emails, you offer exclusive offer with limited time. And I remember, I think they reached 2 billion Swedish kron revenue in 16 hours. That was the biggest ever online sales we have ever done in China. And that just happened last year, so it's incredible. Okay, then the second part that I want to share is about the marketing, people who wants to enter the China market. There are a lot of things that I think that is worth to share. First of all, China is a pretty complicated market. Just for talking about the industry sector where I am, I have been, I really have to, for email sendings, you mostly have to communicate with ISP, like mail service, like Hotmail and Gmail, Yahoo. But in China, it's not like that. You have to always go through the government, and well, dealing with government sometimes is pretty hard. So it took us quite some time to get used to it. Yeah, it's working?
Where you are in your new presentation?
I actually don't know. But I'll just stick to the slides, much easier. Because this is a tip that I really want to share with all of you guys here. I know some of you are very interested to enter China, but I would say, calm down, you know? Be cautious before you go in further. First of all, the business environment we see, as I just mentioned, just for our industry, I have to deal with multiple parties. And in some cases, because everyone thinks China has got huge population, strong economy, fast growth, so logically speaking, that should be a big market. But tell you what, when we enter, there's nobody even knowing what email marketing service is. They think it's no different than spamming. And they even ask me like, Jay, you know, how come that I should pay 3,000 euro to buy your application where I still have a 20 euro application I can send for free? And that's the recognition level for different kind of product and services. So in some cases, China can be perceived as a very small market. Just be aware of that. Second point is change of the market. We know in Europe, people like to put everything on agenda. You like to do planning, long-term planning. You want to know what will be the next step. But in China, it's different. We like to do things randomly. It's really random shot. It's like, today I want to do point A, tomorrow I want to jump over to point C. It's going to frustrate people. And I can tell you, with my own experience, I try to serve World of Warcraft at the very beginning, try to help them to clean up their database. By the time, there are 15 million registered World of Warcraft China player. And it took me about 3 months to finish it. But my Dutch colleagues say to me, like, Jay, we have to plan at least 1 or 2 months to get all the infrastructure ready, then to proceed with the procedure. But my China client told me that, Jay, either you finish it in 3 weeks or we're done with the deal. So how should I do it? I mean, I act as in the middle, trying to really offer the most flexible solution to the China clients. But by the last, I think it took about like 1.5 months. So I took a compromise by the end. They were still frustrating by the time, but somehow we solved it and they're satisfied. And the competition. Competition means China is a big market where everyone wants to grab a meat with. So you're not just going to face with your own brotherhood company, but you're also going to face with Americans, you know, some aggressive companies. So we are facing with the world's largest companies by the time. And game rules. Game rules, in some way, you feel like it's always there because you feel like this is not kind of logic way that you want to do business with. But in also some way, if you have some relationship, local relationship or government relationship, then those game rules can be waived out very easily. So the last part, very important again, every time when you want to enter an industry sector in China, read all the policies and try to make friends with Chinese government officers. And that's also very important. Yeah, I try to be very frankly to you because though I'm Chinese, but I think it's kind of worth for it. By the last, thank you very much for having me here. And yeah, thank you.
Great to have you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Headphones, would that be great?
Thank you.
Let me ask you just 2 my questions. You are speaking very well English. How easy is it to enter the market with the English language as a tool? Or do you need to understand and use the Chinese language? I guess there are few of them as well.
Well, I think in certain levels, language is not a problem. It's about the business sense you have. I think many great foreign background internet companies, they enter China market without even speaking Chinese. But if you have good business sense, that's not a problem. But if you talk about city differences, Shanghai is a perfect place for you to start because there, the people's English level is much better than Beijing.
My second question is, we are looking outwards to other markets, including the US and Eastern, as China. How interested are the Chinese and the Chinese market? How open are they to the things happening in the West? Or do you see an interest in your home market towards what's happening in Europe and in the US? The world that you're living in, China, are they interested in what's happening in Europe and in the US?
With my personal experience, I just finished watching Two Broke Girls yesterday. So I would say many of the youngsters, the new generations, they are pretty, curious about what's happening outside. And I think from human nature, it's quite easy to understand, because we all know that China has got great firewall, filtering systems. And actually, the more stronger this kind of block power is, and the more eagerness that you want to jump out of the wall and to see what's happening outside.
Okay, great. And a question from our expert panel. Prata på.
Curious about the amount of emails you send out. You're talking about 200 million. Yeah. Isn't speed an issue there? I mean, how do you do that with servers, and how long does it take to get these out?
If you want to send out outside of China, that's basically not possible, because we've got some policies for rate limiting, and even if you spend loads of millions of money on infrastructure, still there are policies to prohibit such an act happening from outside. Our way is that we have already some pre-negotiation with the local ISP, inform them what's going to happen, and they're going to assign certain quotes to our mail server. Then we can be in smoothly.
Okay, great. Great, Jay, to have you. You and your company, your friends with WebPower, has also a book on marketing from the Chinese perspective. So talk to the friends in WebPower's booth outside if you want to know more about the opportunities in China. Thank you very much for coming, and great to have you.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.